Jai Masters. You're born onto a little planet, spinning around nowhere. People may not like that truth, but it's the truth. And you're fortunate enough to live in an age where people have gotten off the planet, taken pictures of it, and then went further away on journey to other planets, and taken pictures of Earth from very far away until it just looks like one of the stars. The truth is, that's where you were born. Is that all there is? I'm almost tired of talking about it. Because literally, I walk around and it is incomprehensible to me that people ignore the rest of the universe. I think that's hilarious. So it is amazing to me that people, almost all people, probably 99% or 99.9%, go about their daily life ignoring the rest of the universe. That's just hilarious. You like being ignored? Well, I think the rest of the universe feels all the galaxies, all the stars, 2 trillion galaxies, each with billions of stars. And you're in one galaxy, circling around one star, on one planet, that I keep telling you, 1.3 million Earths fit inside the sun. But you tell me, how many people think about the rest of the universe? None. That's unacceptable, is it not? You don't get just to ignore the rest of the universe. Well, why are you ignoring the rest of the universe? Because you are distracted, you being your consciousness, your awareness of being. Are you capable of thinking of other parts of the universe beside what's in front of you? Of course you are. That's why you were given a mind. Your mind is a very great thing. People think I talk against the mind. I do not talk against the mind. The mind is what makes it possible at this stage of evolution to realize there's more than what your senses are showing you. And there is more, isn't there? And your mind can contemplate that. There was a spiritual teaching in the Theosophical Society, ancient teaching, where they said, contemplate nothing but that which is infinite and nothing which that is eternal, and you become enlightened. That's a true statement. Why? Because it doesn't include the minutia that you're busy contemplating all day. Oh my God, I dropped something on my pants. Oh my God, I don't know if she likes me or not. She didn't say hello. She said hello to somebody else. Nobody's like that. Okay? That's what it means to grow spiritually. The gap between being distracted by what is truly minutia. People don't like what I say. You understand? What is happening in front of you is minutia. It's meaningless. Why? Why is it meaningless? Because something is happening everywhere, isn't it? Is not something happening in every single spot all over the universe? But you only care about what's happening in front of you? That spot is no different than any other spot. I'll prove it. I'll pick you up and put you on another spot. Then you only care about that. Something's fishy. That is the essence of understanding spirituality. Now you have 2 choices. You either start off, which is where every human is, realizing, I'm not okay in here. I have fears and anxieties and needs and pains. I have all kinds of stuff. Loneliness and suffering and rejection. And people hurt me. And people I love don't love me. Not the way I want to be loved. Like, how many things do I have like that? A plethora of them. And you are distracted by that. That's why you don't think of anything else, because you're distracted by that. I told you, if I take a 15-foot rattlesnake, put it in this room, that's all you're going to see. You will not be listening to me, I guarantee you. And you will not see the masters, and you will not see the architecture, and you will see that rattlesnake. Right? And by the way, I always ask you this. Since you don't like seeing it, that's there, would you rather have the rattlesnake behind you or in front of you? Isn't that beautiful? That's very spiritual. That which you fear the most, you want to stare at. Because you fear it, okay? That's true of all your stuff. That's true of all your fears, your anxieties, what might happen. You actually want to think about what somebody might do to hurt you. You keep it in front of you, just like you do the rattlesnake. Wake up. If you do that, you're not going to be okay. Right or wrong, all right? If you take every single thing that might bother you and you think about it all the time, you're going to be bothered and you're going to be anxious. Now you have two choices, because that is what's happening. You either commit your entire life, I'm not talking about 15 to 20 or 30 to 80, your entire life. I don't know, I'm talking about once a week. I'm talking about every minute of your entire life to try and manipulate and control the moments in front of you so that they make you feel better and don't make you feel worse. Is anybody busy doing that? Anybody busy trying to make things be the way they want so they feel better and trying to make sure that they're never the way they don't want so they feel worse? Is that not what we're doing? And we even take courses. There are coaches and people and things that teach you how to do that. How to manipulate people, places, and things so that they're the way you want them to be. You can't just leave them alone. They'll hurt you. Okay, that's one way to live. The other way to live is to sit there and say, there are things happening everywhere in the entire universe. I'm not in charge. Stop telling me I'm supposed to be in charge. Forget that I'm not in charge of what's in front of me. I'm sure not in charge of what's over there, up there, or a mile away, or 10 miles away, or on Saturn. Am I in charge? And it's one universe. It's all tied together. The forces we talked about last time of cause and effect. I'm not in charge. Are you willing to take a breath? You want to talk about a real yogic breath? Are you willing to understand you're not in charge? Or do you really think you're supposed to be in charge? How could you be in charge? Can you be in charge of what's happening down in Miami at 1503 Northwest 12th, Apartment B? Are you in charge? No, you're not in charge of anything. But you think you're in charge of what's in front of you? But you think it's isolated, it's independent, they're not tied together? The fight they're having down there comes up here and ends up hitting you with a car or something, right? Is it not all tied together? Once in my life, I want to ask you, do you understand you're not in charge? I didn't ask if you like it. I said, do you understand there is no possible way you are in charge of the moments in front of you, the moments that happened before, or the moments that are going to happen? I didn't say you have no influence or no effect. Of course you do. But are you in charge? Of course not. That's not even close. There are so many factors that determine what's going to go on. And you're in charge of 0.01% of them or something. But you want to be in charge because you're not okay. And so your choice in life, your entire life, is to sit there and say, I'm not okay. The only way I'm okay if things happen the way I want, and I'm sure as heck not okay if they happen the way I don't want, get to work. Start worrying, start having anxiety, start figuring it all out, start manipulating everybody, start protecting yourself. Do what you need to do to try to be in charge. The other alternative is to admit, I'm not in charge. How could I be in charge? I'm not in charge. If I'm not in charge of 99.999999999% of the universe, and it's a universe all tied together, what in the world makes me think I can be in charge at the point, blah, 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 blah. Okay? And you admit, I'm not in charge. Okay, that's a start, isn't it? Why? Because it's the truth. I'm not going to go on until you understand. It's the truth. You're not in charge. But that's terrible because then I'm scared. How about we learn that we're not in charge and we learn to be okay with that? Instead of, I'm not okay and I can only be okay if I am in charge, so I don't care whether I can be in charge or not. I'm going to fight to be in charge. I'm going to believe I should be in charge. If anybody does anything that hurts me, they did wrong. Didn't they? They were wrong. They should not have done that. If somebody does something that really turns me on, I love it. You did perfect. That's wonderful. I've been looking for you all my life. We are literally judging every single thing that happens, all the people, places, things. Rain. Is it supposed to rain on your wedding day when you're having your wedding outside? No. There's something wrong with that, isn't it? What did I do wrong? Why is God treating me like that? You literally talk like that. You think it's supposed to be the way you want it to be. Guess what? It's not. It's not supposed to be the way you want it to be. It's supposed to be the way it is. How do you know? Because if I analyze the way it is, I would find out there are causes that happened that made it be that way. Wouldn't I? There are causes that happen that all coalesce together that cause this person to behave like that. It's called psychology. What mommy did, what daddy did, what the first girlfriend did, the last phone call they just had, what they ate for dinner the day before. Can that affect how they behaved? None of it has anything to do with you. So you catch on and you realize things are the way they are because of the things that made them be that way. All right? The Gita says something like that. It says the following, Arjuna, that which is, that which is not, what's so difficult? It literally says that. Krishna says, what's so difficult about that? That which is, that which is not, won't be, is not, that's that. Okay? Guess what's wrong with it? It's not okay with me. I didn't like what happened. So that basically you have a choice. And you do have this choice. You go out into the world every minute of every single day, scared to death, weapons up, heart protected, mind rationalizing and thinking and staying ahead of everything. You gotta be ahead of it, don't you? Figure it all out, figure out what to do, figure everything out. And then basically try to manipulate it so that when it shows up in front of you, it's the way you want. I hope you're tired of that. I hope you realize that is some way to spend your life on this little ball of dirt. Beautiful doll. Dolphins, orchids, forests, things to do, computer camp, horses to ride, zebras. There's like a lot of things going on here and there on this planet. We ain't seen nothing anywhere else. So the way you're going to spend your life sitting in this little ball of dirt in the middle of nowhere is neurotic. Scared, protective, resentful. If you live like that, and we do, everything that ever bothered you, you're going to store inside of you. That's what psychology says. That's what Freud said. Mommy did this, daddy did this, uncle did this, so-and-so didn't do this. It's 30 years later, still in there. Why? Because you couldn't handle that it happened. It wasn't okay with you that what was, and what wasn't. And so if at any point it bothered you, you stored it inside, and so it's still inside of you, isn't it? It comes back up all the time. So I don't understand, I'm going to move on, right, how you can have a good life if this is how you're living it. If the only way you can have a good life is to make everything be the way you want and nothing ever is the way you don't want, how you doing with that? How's anyone doing with that? In fact, there was this guy, Adolf Hitler. He thought he should do it like that. Every major city got blown to pieces and millions and millions and millions of people lost their life. Right? That's what happened. That one person had the power to try and make it be the way he wanted. It's still going on, isn't it? That is the cause of all suffering. That is the cause of all what you call evil. That is the cause of every problem that there is on this beautiful planet that is supposed to be the Garden of Eden. It is the Garden of Eden. Go to Mars. There's not a plant anywhere. Go to Jupiter. It's all gas. Go to Venus. I told you, it rains hydrochloric acid. I don't want to go there. All right? Go to Earth. There's never a dull moment. There's never not colors, shapes, people, things to do, right or wrong. It is the Garden of Eden. It's phenomenal. Step back off the Earth. Look what we've seen so far with the Hubble and with James Webb. We ain't seen squat. We've seen burning stars and fires and black holes. What do you see here? OMG. It's a pretty special place. And what do? We suffer. And we cause others to suffer. Why? Because we're not okay, and we've decided the way to be okay is to manipulate, control, just force it to be the way we want and throw tantrums if it's not the way we want. Do grown-ups throw tantrums? Look at the politicians. My God, what they do. Children never do that bad, all right? And so basically you get to the point you understand that is the cause of all problems on the earth, is that every single person thinks it's supposed to be the way they need it to be for them to be okay, and everyone wants it to be different. And so we fight. Is there an alternative? Yes. There's an alternative, and people think the alternative is give up. No, that's not the alternative. The alternative is the opposite of giving up. The alternative is to sit there and say, hello, I'm not in charge. Can I handle that? Can I make a life in which reality wins? Can I make a life in which you behave in front of me the way you behave in front of me because of all the force that made you behave that way, and I can handle it? I'm not saying I don't do anything about it. People misunderstand my teachings. I didn't say don't do anything about it. I said I can handle it. I can handle that you said that. I can handle that you did this. I can handle that you wore that. I can handle that I can handle somebody else got the corner office and I thought I deserved it. Fine, you have the right to think you deserve it, but you didn't get it. Is that okay with you? Method number 1 says, heck no. I'll make life miserable for everybody till I get that corner office. Method number 2 says, of course I can handle it. I'm sitting in a little planet spinning in the middle of nowhere, and there's a stupid office somewhere. There's offices everywhere. I didn't get them either. Think about how many corner offices you didn't get. Okay? And you just sit there and say, yeah, I can handle it. I can handle that it didn't go the way I wanted it to. All right, then what? That is so sacred. You don't understand the difference. One, you're fighting. You're throwing a tantrum. You're doing everything you can to manipulate and control to get it the way that you want. That's causing a lot of trouble, isn't it? In you and everywhere else. You're not at peace. You can't sleep at night because you didn't get the corner office. You're embarrassed. You don't have to face anybody. You don't tell your parents, tell your wife, spouse. You understand that? You got problems inside of you because you didn't get a corner office, because you didn't get a raise, because of something that happened outside, all right? The other way, you can handle it, and we'll talk about how. You can handle it. Now what? Now I've handled it. Okay, now what do I do? Sometimes the answer is nothing. There's nothing to do. That's what happened to me. The guy got the corner office, congratulate him or her. It's fine. If you can handle it, you don't have to resent it. You don't have to suppress it. You don't have to get all scared next time it's time to see who's going to get the raise or the corner office. Because you did fine not getting the corner office. You did fine getting the corner office. Which way you want to live? You want to sit there and fight and store it and carry it and resent it for the rest of your life and hate your job? That's so silly. As opposed to learning to say to life, hey, you are the sum of all the forces that made you be the way it is. To me, it's like saying, is it okay with you that Saturn has rings? Is it? Is it okay with you that Saturn has rings? You laugh, don't you? You say, it has nothing to do with me, nor does anything else. Not at that level. The reason Saturn has rings is the same reason that somebody else got the corner office. And it isn't that you didn't get the corner office. It's that somebody else got it. How you want to look at it? And that goes for everything. For everything. You get married. You want to have children. And now we're going to Major League. You find out that one of you is not fertile. Is that okay with you? Of course it's not okay with me. It better be okay with you. It doesn't mean you don't adopt. It doesn't mean you don't do different things, right? But you better start by accepting the fact that this baby is not going to happen that way. Can I talk to you like this? Will somebody talk to you like this? As opposed to freaking out, it ruins your life because you wanted to have a child of your own and you can't. And what are you doing? You have a whole life. It's like that's just something that. Can we discuss it that way? It's called reality. That's what it is. Can you handle reality? So the second method of life is to sit here and say, I want to learn. One way you're trying to learn how to get what you want. Good luck. You're competing with everybody. You're competing with weather. You're competing with every single thing there is. You're really competing with God, by the way. How could you let it rain on my birthday? There we go. Go talk to God. Okay? You just get to the point where you realize that's a fight. The other is to sit there and say, I would like to learn to be open enough, understanding enough, compassionate enough to handle reality. I know I can't do it now. I didn't say you could do it now. I didn't say that any of these things I'm comparing that you feel, oh yeah, fine. No. You had to learn how to try to get what you want. How come you can't learn how to try to accept reality? That's what I want to talk about. And that is the reason you took birth. How's that? You did not take birth to get what you want. You know how I know? Because when you die, it ain't going with you. Build you up treasures where moth and dust corrupt and thieves break in. That's what Christ said, didn't he? In other words, what are you doing? How can you make that the meaning of your life? It's not going anywhere with you. It's like a wasted life. It's a wasted life. He who dies with the most toys wins. Wins what? And you wake up and you realize the meaning of your life, the reason you took birth on this planet, is to learn to honor and respect reality, God. That's what God is. Reality is God. God is reality. There are forces way beyond your control. You don't have to think of them mystical. I'm perfectly happy with science. You know that. The forces of cause and effect cause things to happen. Fine. The point is you don't. You're not in charge. And so you get to the point where you say, that's the meaning of life. To learn to honor and respect life. To learn to be open. To learn to appreciate that events are taking place in front of you as opposed to being in space where there's nothing happening. You just change your mind about things. All right, now we get to work. It's hard. Why? Because if I don't get what I want, I don't like it. And if I get what I don't want, I really don't like it. And everything inside of me throws a tantrum and complains and wants to fight with everything. Okay, very good. Well, that's how I always teach you. When you first took calculus class, did you know how to do calculus? No. When you first picked up a tennis racket, did you know how to play tennis? When you first sat down at a piano, did you know how to play a piano? There's this word, and it's called learning. So the fact that you can't handle reality, that's right. That's right. That's reality. There it is right now. Can you learn? That is what you're here for. Earth is a place that souls are sent to evolve. You can learn to handle the reality that unfolds in front of you. And the more you can handle the reality, the more it doesn't bother you. Does it bother you that Saturn has rings? Some people, they're marching up and down with placards in Times Square. Oh my God, Saturn has rings. We have to fix this. Well, you're one of them. Oh my God, it's raining on my birthday. Oh my God, my husband didn't do this. Oh my God. Same exact thing. You basically, I can't handle reality, so where do you see what the heck's going on at my house and my place of work and anywheres? Because I'm going to raise hell. So you catch on. The second method of life is the meaning of life, which is, I know I'm not okay. I know I'm a mess. I know I have all this stored garbage inside that I stored from the past, and it made all these impressions inside of me, and now I don't like this and I like that, and I fight this and I freak out when that happens. I get all angry or needy. I get all these emotions, energy, stuff going on inside. There, that's your starting position. That's like not being able to play the piano. If you've never picked up a tennis racket, you walked into calculus class, what are they talking about? But instead of walking out, you said, I'm supposed to learn. I don't care if I hit into the net. I'll learn not to. I don't care if I make mistakes on the scales or playing a piece. I'll learn not to. Why are you not saying that with this? I realize I'm not okay. Things happen and they hit me. I'm not okay. But I'm going to learn to be okay. Not by making them be what I need them to be for me to be okay. By letting go of the part of me that's not okay. That is the essence of spirituality. Is there not a party that's not okay? Answer me. Do you not get nervous when you have to do things? You get scared. You're afraid you're disappointed somebody. You don't know what they're thinking about. You care what people think about you. You care about what people think that other people think about you. How weird can we get? But I'm telling you, it's not going to work out well. You're going to stay that way your entire life. So you wake up and you say, yes, there is a mess in here. How did it get to be a mess in there? You drop down into the body. Who? You, the soul, the essence, the consciousness, God, literally, pure consciousness, drops down into the body, and there's all these stimuli. There's noises, and there's sights, and there's lights, and there's this and that, and there's touching, and oh my God, it's very distracting. And you get pulled out into that, and not all of it is comfortable. When mommy comes and picks you up, when I put you back down, not comfortable. So you learn very, very early, and even kids know this, you learn very, very early the difference between comfort and non-comfort. And so you start to do this natural thing, which is I'd rather be comfortable, so I have to figure out how to make noise, how to do this, how to do that, to be comfortable, and you're still doing it. You're making the same frickin' noise. Okay? Don't say that. You know I can't handle that. I told you not to say that. Don't ever say something like that. You know I didn't get along with my father. Why'd you say that? Do you say stuff like that? Come on. Okay? So you got all this garbage inside that you stored over the course of your life, and if it gets hit, you freak out. And so you're spending your entire life trying to protect yourself from yourself. And you will do that forever. And you will just, any of you have older grandparents or people, they're all enlightened, right? They never complain. No problem at all, right? They're very good at handling reality and accepting everything. Not a chance in the world, okay? So you wake up and you realize you can be okay. You can be more than okay. But not by trying to manipulate every moment. It must get tiring. Every moment has to be the way you want. And in a moment, somebody could behave the way you don't want. In a moment, you could have the market go down. In a moment, you could lose your job. In a moment, you could find out something that you don't want to know, right or wrong, anytime. What John Lennon say, life is what happens to you while you're busy making other plans. Is that not true of your life? Life is what happens to you while you're busy making other plans. You are not going to change that. It's reality. So you get on what's called the spiritual path. The way, the spiritual way, the alternative way, okay? Which is to say, okay, reality wins. Doesn't mean I don't deal with it. I have a job to work with it, but not, I have to resist it, fight it, stop it from happening. That's the whole key. Go on, stop everything from happening that you don't want to happen from now to the end of your life. And better yet, make it so that what happened in the past that you didn't like didn't happen. I'm waiting, but you do want to do that, don't you? Does anything ever come back up from the past? You resent that it happened, and you wish it didn't, and you can't handle it, and it shouldn't have happened, and you complain about it. Ever complain to anybody about things they did in the past? Because you can't handle it. You couldn't handle it then, you can't handle it now, and you will not be able to handle the future because there are so many things that could go wrong. You need to. Are you not busy? Are you busy in there trying to make sure stuff doesn't happen and stuff does happen? All right? There is an alternative lifestyle, completely alternative, which is to say, yes, right now, I haven't done well handling reality. And if I leave myself to myself, I won't do well. I'll be neurotic, I'll be nervous, I'll be anxious, I'll be scared, I'll be protective. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff. Controlling, manipulative, etc., etc. Can I learn to do better handling reality? That is spirituality. Doesn't sound so mystical, does it? In fact, it sounds a little too real, doesn't it? Can I learn, just like calculus, tennis, piano, can I learn to do better handling reality? If you can learn to do better handling reality, even a little bit, you're better off. Because then you don't fight. Then you're not scared. If you know you can handle things, you don't have to worry if they'll happen. Do you? If you know that your husband or wife can come home, they had a bad day, and they come marching through the house, they don't say a single word, and they go and slam the door in the bedroom, if you can handle that, okay, he had a bad day, right? When he comes out, I'll give him some love. Not when he comes out, I yell at him. How could you treat me like that? That means you didn't handle it. If I can handle it, I don't have to be afraid it will happen. I don't have to be afraid what mood he's going to be in or she's going to be when they come home because I know I can handle it. So big deal. It's a good mood, bad mood, I don't care. I'm fine. That's where I want you. I care for you. That's where I want you. And for the rest of your life, the more you do it, the more you play your piano scales, the more you're capable of playing a piano piece, aren't you? The more you practice with a tennis racket, the more capable you are hitting the tennis shots. This is the same. You practice being okay with reality. And the better you are at it, the better your whole life will be. It'd be unbelievable. Imagine going to your job, and instead of thinking, how do I get the corner office? How do I get a raise? How do I get people to respect me? How do I make sure that people think I'm as good as they are? How do I prove myself constantly? You go, I'm afraid to say this, you go to your job to do the job. You do the job. Somebody gave you a job to do. You do the job to the best of your ability. Why? I have heard tell that there are people that take a 100-yard field, turn it into 10-yard lines, take a weird-shaped ball, and try to get it across a line while other people try to stop them. Why would you do that? What? If you want to get it across the goal line, go down there at night when no one's there. Ding, 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 ding. But that's no fun, is it? What is the meaning of that? It's called a sport. There's no meaning to a sport other than it challenges you, it brings out the best in you, you practice, you try, you get teamwork. Isn't that really what it's about? So is your life. It's a sport. You're being given tasks to do that are meaningless. Get the ball into the cup from 300 feet with a stick with as few hits as possible. Well, there's a meaningful life. Let's go do that. All right? But its meaning is in the doing. Its meaning is in you doing your best to do it. Then it brings out all this shakti, all this meaning to you, right? You know, I pointed out to people that aren't used to football. You know, football, that's a rough sport. Let's get that straight. Maybe it's not as rough as hockey, but it's a rough sport, okay? And they hit each other hard, and they hurt each other. At the end of a football game, have you seen what they do? They hug each other. They congratulate each other. The quarterbacks seek each other out and congratulate how well everybody played. The linemen that were killing the quarterback said, "Hey, man, good job." Like, that's neat. As many problems they have in football, that's neat that they do that, isn't it? That's a really beautiful thing that you can go to war like that. And then it wasn't about that. It was about, man, you were tough. We played well. Congratulations. That's what life is. Life is a sport. How can you tell me it has meaning if you step off the planet like I've invited you to do, like the astronauts do? They have that overview effect where they just see a planet spinning there. What has meaning? I built that building and it's named after me. What building? Where? There's a shot. It's on the web. You can get it, all right? It was taken from past Saturn. It shows the rings of Saturn, gorgeous, up close. And they show one spot inside of one ring. That is the planet Earth. It is smaller than the smallest star you see here. What has meaning? People write me, I don't like when you say it has no meaning. I want my life to have meaning. Your life has great meaning, but that ain't it. The meaning is what you learned. Earth is a place the souls are sent to evolve. You're going to have experiences. How do you know? Let those of eyes to see, let them see. I mean, open your eyes, you have experiences. The question is, can you handle them? And the answer is no. Can you learn to? The answer is yes. And that's the meaning of your life. Then don't you doubt one iota. When you leave here, you're not taking anything with you. You're not taking your family. You're not taking your belongings, your house, the building you named, the reputation you built. No, you're not taking it. But what you are taking is you came down, evolved to a certain level. Like you came down being able to play tennis at a certain level. And when you left, you're much better. And when you left, your ability to handle reality expanded significantly. That's called spiritual evolution. Sometimes people ask me, what is spiritual evolution? That's spiritual evolution. Just like you get involved playing the piano, you get involved playing tennis. He's a very evolved tennis player. She's very evolved at the game of life. What is the game of life? Reality unfolds, and you in there are okay. You in there can handle it. You're at peace. You're centered. You're clear. It's not just meditation that gives that to you. It's not mantra or pranayama. Those are wonderful things. They're called techniques. Techniques what? To help you handle life. If you sit there and do pranayama for 3 hours and do all your yoga and meditate for 6 hours and then get out and freak out because of what happened while you were in there meditating, that's not it, man. It's a question of, can you handle reality? By the way, you are able to handle 99.9% of the reality that presents itself to you every single day, period. You handle the white lines on the road. You handle all those thousands and thousands of trees that you drive by. You handle the cars you drive by. You handle the people that walk by. You handle all kinds of people that you don't know. You handle everything except for the stuff you got something going about. If one person, that's the story I tell unto the soul, if all these cars are driving by on the LA freeway, but one of them looks like your girlfriend's car and you thought somebody was hugging in there, that's the end of your day. But you handled every other car. You handled the sun, you handled the clouds, you handled everything. What do you mean? It came in and it passed through. That's what handling means, isn't it? It didn't disturb you. It left you as it found you, at peace, serene, content. And it passed through. But other stuff doesn't, does it? The stuff you built in there, your stuff. You got stuff? How would you like to not have stuff? That doesn't mean you don't have relationships. Doesn't mean you don't drive. Doesn't mean anything. It's not renunciation. It's beyond renunciation. It's there's no reason to renounce. I want to know how you pick what to renounce. What if there's nothing you can't handle? Let's talk about that for a minute. The great way is not difficult for those who have no preferences. When love and hate are both absent, everything becomes clear and undisguised. Make the slightest distinction, however, and heaven and earth are set infinitely apart. To set aside what you like from what you dislike is the disease of the mind. Avoid such pursuits carefully. That's the third Zen patriarch, first paragraph of this deep writing called Treatise on Faith Mind. The great way is not difficult for those who have no preferences. What does that mean? People say, well, how do I have no preferences? I always tell them, don't. You don't fight with your preferences. Do not try to get rid of your preferences. Do not fight with your preferences. You have preferences for a reason. Your ex-husband's name was Ben. You would just as soon not meet another Ben. You grew up in Arizona. Your parents didn't get along. You had a terrible time. Now you're dating somebody. They're thinking about taking a job in Arizona. You're having trouble. You have preferences for a reason. You're programmed based on your past experiences. That's what psychology says. Man's the sum of his learned experiences. You stored all this stuff inside. So now when something comes in, it hits the stuff that was bad, and you have a preference not to have it happen. Let's go eat at this restaurant. No way. No way. I used to eat there, and one time I ate there, I got sick. I ate there hundreds of times, but once I got sick, I'm not eating there ever again. You stored something bad, and now it's all bad. And so you wake up, and you realize you don't get rid of your preferences. You get rid of the reason for your preferences. That's nice to know, isn't it? You get rid of your preferences is like suppressing, okay? But to look and see, why am I that way? Yes, I had an ex named Ben. What the heck's that got to do with anybody else named Ben? It left an impression inside of you. All of your preferences are that way. There's a reason you like the color blue, and there's a reason you hate the color blue. There's just some things that got left in there. They all mixed together. It's pretty complicated. It's psychology. And so you get to the point where you say, I'm not trying to get rid of my preferences. I'm getting rid of the reason for my preferences. That's so much deeper and much more doable, by the way. If you take a bush and trim it so it's not so big, it'll get bigger. You want to work at it? Work at the roots. That's what the Buddhists say. Work at the root. The root of your preferences are your stored stuff, your samskaras. The stuff that you stored in there is all mixing together and causes the emotions and needs and likes to come up. Work with those. That's the greatest lesson you will ever learn. Okay, how do you work with those? Now that we understand we're going to live the life of cleansing, we're going to live the life of openness, we're going to live the life of accepting reality, honoring reality, working with reality. Okay, how do you do that? Well, you can't do it. You have all this noise going on in there. And you can't suppress the noise. That doesn't mean anything. Comes up another way, makes a mess. You work with yourself at the root. The root is you have this stuff you stored in there from the past that's not comfortable. Or, by the way, is very comfortable. You had one amazing experience when you went to Hawaii. Oh my God, honeymoon, this, that, and the other thing like that, right? Now you're not getting along at all. You're throwing pots and pans at each other. Let's go to Hawaii. And they're going to do a thing, all right? But you just have this image of recreating the beautiful thing you've had before. And so you go chasing after that or running away from the bad things. What do? Let's get right down where the rubber hits the road. You sit there and say, I don't know how to get rid of this stuff. I'm scared of it or I'm desirous of it. So what do? Life will do it for you and to you. Won't it? You will just be going about your business and you'll see something. You'll see a couple on their way to Hawaii on their honeymoon. and you're having big fights with your spouse, and you'll see it come up, and you'll look at it, and you'll say, this has got to go. I'm carrying this from 20 years ago, and I'm resenting that we don't get together now. I'm not honoring how things are now. I'm trying to make them be this, whatever it is. I don't play psychology with you. And you look at it because it came up, and you say, do I or do I not want this staying inside of me? For 20 years, it's caused a problem. Trying to make it happen again, and resenting that it's not. And you just finally say, I want to live now. I want to live in the now. I want to be real. I'd rather be able to do with my spouse who's not the same as they were when we went to Hawaii 20 years ago. I'm not the same as I was. So why am I clinging to that? And you learn to relax and release and let it come up and work it through yourself. You can work things through inside. If you get centered enough and are sincere enough with the type of stuff we're talking about, that you make the meaning of your life getting rid of this stuff that's ruining your life. Not serve it as if it's the savior, right? I want to get rid of it. I want to let it go. It'll come up by itself. Things will happen in life that make it come up. Either it will come up and be disturbing, or it will come up and seem fake desirous, or right? Yearning it. You crave it because you had an experience before. You don't crave anything that you didn't have a good experience about it before. You're not born with it. It's left in there from some scars, some stuff you stored in there, right? And you just eventually get to the point that when it starts to come up, you need to work on yourself to get to that point. You say, come on up. I don't want you in there. I would rather go through either the pain or whatever it is to allow you to pass through so you're not in there anymore ruining my entire life than I want to get what you want because it just comes and goes anyways. Okay, we'll go to Hawaii. He agrees to go to Hawaii, and you have a big fight at the airport, and you never go anyways. Things happen, don't they? They're never the way you think they're going to be. It's never the way you think it's going to be. You made up how you want it to be, and it's reality. It's the sum of all the forces that made it be the way it is. Yours is the sum of your past experiences. They have nothing to do with each other. Can anybody hear that? They're totally different subsets or supersets. They may mesh for a moment, just as luck. And so you sit there and say, I don't want this in me, and I'm willing to do the work to let it go. And that becomes your life. That's your entire spiritual life. But it's not just spiritual life, it's a meaningful life. So that as I let it go, it's not there anymore. What does that mean? It can come up, but it hurts. Relax. Relax. Hey, people go through 4 years for the Olympics. I guarantee you, people box. They're trained for boxing. They go through hurt, don't they? They go through a lot of stuff. And then what do they get? Nothing. A gold medal hangs on the wall. You get freedom. You get liberation. That thing's not in you anymore. You understand there's nothing inside of you that has to be there. Nothing. I don't care how young you were. I don't care who did what. There is nothing inside of you from the past that has to be in there. If it is in there, it's because you're holding it in there. It does not naturally stay in there. There's no super glue. There's no cement. There's nothing. There's just your will not wanting to deal with it. You don't want to deal with it when it happened, and you still don't want to deal with it, do you? Okay, I'm telling you, you do want to deal with it. You do. You don't want that in there. It's making you be the way I said. It's making you be the other way. Taking, ragging, fighting, as opposed to, I can handle this. I can handle this. Just keep letting go. You keep relaxing, releasing, and letting go. Now, I have to say this. I know I do it every time, and I make a big deal out of the book. You're not going to be able to do that with the big stuff. You're not going to be able to right now. You're not. Let's admit it. There's reality. If it comes up and it was your ex-husband and he did this and it was the same thing and the kids, and they're like, you get all weird, don't you? Anybody get weird in there? It gets weird. That's because you don't sit down and play Beethoven the first time you sit down at the piano. You don't start with the big stuff. You start practicing how to let go. That's the essence of the teachings. What do you mean? How do I practice how to let go? You're driving down the road and the car in front of you is driving 10 miles an hour below the speed limit and you're in a rush. And there's one lane and you can't pass. What are you going to do? Complain. What good did it do? None. Maybe this is the time to practice. Maybe this is like scales. Can I sit here behind that car and let go of the part of me that's being neurotic, that's being ridiculous? The cost-benefit analysis of complaining about that is 100% cost, zero benefit. And so you sit there and decide to work with yourself. And you say, I'm going to do something productive with my life, constructive with my life. I'm going to practice letting go. You understand what letting go means? It's trying to be disturbed in there, and I'm watching it. I can relax. I can do a mantra. I can breathe. I can do something nicer than getting upset about something that I can't do anything about. And you do it all the time with everything. Like the rain. I don't want to get out in the rain. I'll get wet. You practice letting go. And if you do this, you're going to get better at it. Just like you get better at piano, just like you get better at tennis. Don't worry that you can't do it now. I know you can't do it now. Nobody's telling you to do it now. They're telling you to find a level that you can do. Make it fun. It's like a video game. Can I handle myself in this situation? Life presented this situation. Like, what you really should think is you're playing ball with God. Hey, let's have a catch. But God plays hardball. Okay, Dad, let's have a catch. Wow! All right? The events that are unfolding in front of you are the events that are unfolding in front of you. I told you once before, they're not unfolding in front of anybody else. Every event in your life, you're the only one experiencing it. I don't want to say it's meant for you, but you're the only one experiencing it. Do you know that? If you took every moment of your life, they're like pearls on a necklace. You are the only one that had those experiences. And no one ever did before, and no one ever will again, because they'll never happen again. And so you say, let's play ball, let's boogie. And little by little, you keep letting go. You learn. What does it mean, let go? Don't resist. Well, how do you not resist? It hurts. Lots of things hurt. Any mothers in here that hurt a little bit, the first child? You go back for seconds and thirds. Why? Because it's worth it to get the result. Believe me, this is worth it. This is absolutely worth it every single time. Anything you can do to relax through, welcome it up, let it go, and eventually something bigger happens. And you're going to find out you're better able to handle it. You weren't able to handle it before. No, there's nothing to it. Because you practice. Just like playing the piano or tennis. You're better at it. You get better at it. And you keep doing it. And eventually, you reach the great point where you realize, I'm happy. Why? Because I'm not making myself miserable. I'm happy. I feel free. I enjoy getting up in the morning because I'm not afraid of what's going to happen. Because I know I can handle it. I've handled that kind of thing. And you just keep going. And eventually, it's not just happy. You start realizing there's this stuff called shakti inside. Spirit, shakti, chi, call it whatever you want. You start feeling energy that you only felt once in a while if somebody hugged you or you won the lottery or got a new car. Just every once in a while you got a rush. Now it's there all the time. How would you like that? The highest you ever experienced being there all the time. Is that worth something? Is that worth doing the work? And guess what? If you're 15 years old or 85 years old, doesn't matter. You just keep doing it and you'll feel all this energy coming up inside of you, feeding you. Who said that? Christ said that. Man does not live by bread alone, but by every word that leaveth the mouth of the Father. What does that mean? You don't get high and fed just off of the outside world, off the events that are happening that you like. There's an energy inside that feeds you from inside, that's available to you all the time, except you're distracted by the rest. Then I was closed this way. I have to, because we've had a serious talk about reality, right? So now this is going on inside of you, and now you know how. And you work, it gets higher and higher and higher, and then eventually it gets so high inside that the outside doesn't challenge you. Ram Dass said it this way: I'm standing on a bridge looking down at the rapids. Every once in a while, a spray comes up and touches me, and I realize I used to live down there. That's what the lower self looks like now. It's not that it's not there, but you're perfectly capable of letting go and staying above it. And you would never go back down there, no matter what. I want you to get to that point. Sometimes really big stuff happens. And when you're ready, you look at it and say, bring it on. Let's get it over with. Come on. Ramakrishna used to say, helter-skelter, come what may. Bring it on. Once you learn you can handle anything, you're liberated, you're free. Now the energy gets so strong inside that it's literally pulling you out of yourself. The lower self can't hold you down anymore because it's not distracting you. You weren't distracted by the trees, the lines on the road. Now you're not distracted by the girlfriend's car. Oh, Maybe it's her car. Fine. Find out later. How would you like that? How would you like knowing you can handle anything? Why? Because she's not the reason you feel love. You're sharing your love with her, but your love was there to begin with, and it's going to be there after, and you don't have to worry a single thing about it. And now it starts to pull you up, and eventually it pulls you up so strong that it literally starts to pull you out of your sense of individual self. The ego is down there, but it's not pulling you into it. And so you're free. Christ said you must die to be reborn. That's what that means. You have to be willing to die of the personal self, and then this energy pulls you up. And I was stopped with Mayor Baba. He said the first time he went into the great state of merger, his consciousness was like a drop of water staring at himself, just like yours is. It fell into the ocean. Find it. Find a drop of water you just dropped into the ocean. Not a chance in the world. It does what you call merge. Yoga means union, merger. That's where the great ones went. They merged. Guess who else was great? My Father and I are one. Now you understand what Christ is talking about. His individual consciousness merged into the consciousness. So you are a very great being, but you're trying to take the lowest part of your being and placate it. Make it be okay so it doesn't bother you. Aren't you? Stand up. Rise. Rise up. And realize you can work your way out of this on a regular minute-to-minute basis. You free yourself. Free yourself. The Gita ends up with Krishna telling Arjuna, be thou a yogi. That's what, a yogi is not just asanas. What we talked about tonight, that's yoga. That's what the great ones taught you. How to free yourself. Jivan mukta. How to be a free soul. Jagradav.